Hello there. Good morning. I am Agustinus Yohan from Indonesia Institute of the Art of Surakarta, Indonesia. The title of my paper is Convergent Photography and the Dynamic of Relationship Still Motion Photography. Digital photography began to be applied in the 80s. The principle in change from film photography to digital photography is just replacing a film media with a light sensitive sensor called CCD or CMOS. The process of change is complete, but the process of digitizing photography does not stop here. If it can be mapped, all the frenetic development of digital photography in the disruption era are pushed in several parts. At the moment, what really feel attractive the attention of photography stakeholder, at least is convergent photography, mobile photography, followed by successive drone photography and mirrorless photography. The last but not least is post photography or beyond photography, or there are several other synonyms. Photography feels special because of its extraordinary appeal. It seemed to trigger a large-scale exploration of the photography community to elaborate all boundaries that rise in the process of photography creation. This study in the efforts to be a simple reflection related to the map of still moving photography relationship. This paper is the first part of my broader research, specially aimed at finding answer to the question of how the timeline formation of the still motion photography relation from its beginning to the disruption era. Again, has become a special word that is often discussed in every occasion. But studies of convergent related to photography are generally still very limited. So far, I found 4 research from Europe and America. There are 6 similar research is also done in Indonesia. Several convergent studies above, almost all of them emphasize the topic of their study around the issue of integration of new media with old media with various processes and or related to the issue of ownership of the industry. A convergent camera study to examine the result of images that are considered lacking in observational perspective. In the production of documentaries that worship the authenticity of fact. But research of media convergence that specially highlight the phenomenon of warning boundaries separating still photography and motion photography has not yet been discovered in a search so far. Method. The type of data referenced and presented from this research is qualitative data, the main step of which is to study literature. Literature study is also intended to get the legitimacy of the concept and theory footing, as well as to examine its practical level in the field. discussion. Yes. The figure of the timeline of relation still motion photography. There are 6 steps beginning from the left side. The number 1 is heliography, number 2 chronophotography, number 3 cinematography, number 4 is freeze motion, number 5 slow motion time lapse, and number 6 is convergent photograph. Start with number 1, heliography. This step is very special because be a starting point to the relationship. This is the first photograph by Joseph Nietzsche in circa 1826 or 27. That very special for this photograph is the exposure time. Definitely is longer than today's photo. A very long exposure time, about 8 hours. Yes, 8 hours. Chronophotography. There are two names very special. The first one is Edward Muybridge. He created the horse in motion. State of number 3 is cinematography. Cinematograph was introduced by Lumiere brothers in the French Photography Society Congress in Paris on June 11, 1895. Lumiere brothers had just been granted a patent for their cinematograph. The first movie camera and projection system. Step of number 4 is freeze motion. Motion is cinema which use still or freeze in cinema. One work of prominent in this era or step. There are Lagite from Chris Marker and work of Fassbinder film. Number 5 is slow motion time lapse. The point of this era is negotiates with mobility and continuity. Number 5 is slow motion time lapse. The point of this era is negotiates with mobility and continuity. Of number 4 is freeze motion. The character of the staff is used still or freeze in cinema. There are there are several works example for this step. The first is Lagite from Chris Marker. And film from Fassbinder. That's to the number 5 step is slow motion and time lapse. Cinema in this step negotiates with mobility continuity. Example work for this step is the matrix, which is very fast speed, make scene with next eyes. Step number 6 is convergent photography. Photography make practice of photography be cheaper and easier. So stimulate the massive vernacular photography. 3 significant time in this step. First is news making. Is the second half of 2010. And then in the second is the process of filmmaking at the first half of 2020. Then the digital content creator is second half of 2020. Conclusion. Span of time between the two significant states of historical photography, namely heliography and photography convergent. There are 4 very impressive states as an effort to understand the relationship between photography and cinema as its siblings. Starting from chronophotography, then cinematography, then freeze motion, and the last is slow motion time lapse. Thank you.